Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at an option in Google Forms that's actually a really good way to do differentiation in your class. It's called branching. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to create questions and you're going to provide feedback loops for students anytime that they miss questions. What this will do, it'll prevent them from just missing a question and skipping on to the next one. It actually makes them stop, relearn or rethink or learn new material, review other material. This is a great thing to use for reviews before any kind of exam. It's really good to help them make sure that they understand concepts that you've been working on in class. So I'm just going to take you through the steps to create the branching for a single question, and then all you have to really do is duplicate it for any other questions you might want to add. So the first thing you're going to do is when you create the form is you need to set it up into quiz mode. So we're going to click on this gear over here for settings, click into quizzes, and then you're just going to toggle the option to make it a quiz. If you're just using this for an activity in class, you don't have to worry about any of these other options. If you're doing it as a summative assessment, then you can toggle whatever you need to for that. So I'm going to save it. And now we're ready to start to add our questions. So instead of just adding a question, what we're going to do is actually create a new section for each one. So I'm going to create my first section. I'm going to title it question one, and then uh, I'm going to add my question. So I've already created this in another form, so I'm just going to import this in here. So I'm going to add my first question in there. And since we've got it set into quiz mode, we've got an answer key option. So all you're going to do is, click on the answer key, choose the correct answer, and then we're set up. Now, to provide the feedback loop, what we're going to need to do is we'll duplicate it, and then we're going to create a second section to send students anytime that they miss the answer. So I'm going to add another section, and I'm just going to title this Question 1 Revisited. I can duplicate this question real quick and then drag it over into here. And then what I can do is I can actually add some resources for students to use in order to help them get the question right. So, I can add a YouTube video, which I've got one for this particular question. So basically, if they get the question wrong, it's going to send them to the next section, and then they'll have this video that they can watch to help them gather the right information. Now, the only thing that we have to do now is we've got to set it up to send students to specific sections based on what they answer. So if you go back up here, if you click on the three dots next to the question, you'll see this option that says go to section based on answer. I'm going to toggle that one on, and then you'll see I've got these drop down menus. And basically, what's going to happen is I can select if a student answers this option, where are they going to go? So any wrong question, which is going to be the first, third, and fourth question in here, I'm going to send them to the question one revisited section. Now, for the correct answer, I'm going to send them on to the next thing. So, this one, if it's only one question, I'm going to send them to the submit form. If you've got more questions, I would, have a next section that's titled question two, and when they get that one right, it's going to send them to question two. Um, you also want to toggle this after section two to go to the next section that you want them to go to. I'm going to do the same thing down here. So what I'm going to do is set up the same idea for them to go to a section based on their answer. If they get the question wrong again, I'm just going to send them right back to that same question. And what this does is it creates a loop. In other words, they can't get out of this until they click the correct answer. And it's really that kind of simple. If I've got five questions, I create a section for each question, and then I create a section for them to go to review material. Now, if you're wanting to do something to get them to revisit, you could also potentially create just a completely separate section that says something like go back and try again, click the back button, and then it takes them back to the question that they missed. I've got an example of this on my blog of a one that I did for my class syllabus. It's just a generic try again, and it's going to send them back to the question that they missed until they get it right. So you can check that one out too. But this is a great way to review material with students, to differentiate if they're struggling with certain concepts. It gives them immediate feedback. It gives them immediate options to review material. Like I said, you can add videos. You can add links to sites that have information. You can link basically anything to that review section in order to help students navigate through it. And then, of course, you can be working your way around the class. If anybody's having trouble, you can help them out as they're doing that. Students can work at their own speed. It's a really great option now that you can use in Google Forms. Enjoy.